Is your marriage on the rocks? Do you believe it is over? Or have you asked yourself, how do we fight fair? How can we make decisions together without conflict? How can we develop real intimacy? Does my marriage matter? All these questions will be answered and more with the Marriage Matters podcast hosted by Minister Adrian C. Walker II. Tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and together we will destroy the back of divorce, because marriage does matter.
Hello, and welcome to the Marriage Matters podcast hosted by myself, Minister Adrian Walker. So I'd like to first start out and ask you this question, or these questions rather. Does your marital house have a strong foundation? Do you use your words as building blocks or wrecking balls? Because words have power. So use the power for good. And today we're going to discuss building a foundation before and after the ideal. So let's start with our words, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. So here are 6 ways to use words in a positive way. So in marriage, the way you care for each other can speak volumes. Thank your spouse for the way they care for you. Wives, thank your husband for making you feel protected and loved. Husbands, thank your wives for the way they put you and your children first. Encourage one another. If you are a 2-career family, please encourage and support each other in your work lives. Husbands, if your wife has a big work project, like spring cleaning or something of that nature, pitch in and help out more. Help out around the house. Help with the kids. Wives, if your husband has to work late or bring work home, don't make him feel guilty or act in a passive-aggressive manner. After battling the world all day, the last thing anyone needs is to go to war at home. Both of you are contributing to the family. You all are on the same team. So wives, if you do not work outside the home, show understanding when your husband has work burdens. He feels a great responsibility to be a good provider. So the way you respond will either make him feel like a success or even a failure. Now the next thing is tone. I know this is kind of a little sketchy one for folks, but hey, tone is important. The way you sound and your body language can overshadow your words. So be especially careful in moments of conflict when you're not thinking as clearly or speaking as carefully. You and your spouse should be able to discuss everything, but always do it with mutual respect. Always come from a place with love. What I always say is to hold your tongue until God has a hold of it. And it usually works. Also, honoring your spouse inside and outside your home. Don't discuss marital issues with your friends or your coworkers. You're not the real Hollywood housewives or anything like that. So don't discuss that. Don't be messy. Honor your house. Don't disrespect your spouse in front of others or air out any dirty laundry in the public. It's not their business. And not everybody has your best interests. So if you must get wise counsel, find one trusted source and speak with them in confidence. Usually not a family member. From my past experiences, it doesn't really work out best when you involve family in that. So try to seek someone, a trusted, wise counsel source outside of that. Also, deciding together, making decisions together, even the small things. This will affirm your importance in each other's lives and in your joint partnership. In the area of family life, making joint decisions concerning your children and things like that. In financial areas of your marriage, agree on your boundaries in advance. For example, Any items under $100 may be purchased without discussion. Any items that cost more should be a joint decision. Don't exclude each other in any area of your lives. And again, this is the Marriage Matters podcast, hosted by Minister Adrian Walker. Thank you for joining us. Right now we are discussing foundation in the marriage and building up a foundation, because foundation is very important. You cannot have a house standing if you have a weak foundation. So if you want your marriage to stand, you got to start with the foundation, building those blocks up. So that's what we are discussing today. And we just went over the financial aspect tips with that. And the next thing I would like to point out is maintaining physical intimacy. Now, intimacy necessarily doesn't mean the sexual aspect. Intimacy can be in different forms, such as holding hands and things like that. So if a man's physical desires aren't met, ladies, he feels as if he does not matter. Now, fellas, if a woman's emotional desires are not met, she feels unloved and undesirable, which circles around to love and respect. Ephesians 5:22 talks about wives submitting to your husbands, and verse 33 covers husbands loving your wives as Christ loved the church. These things are the will of God. So husbands, love your wives. Women, submit to your husbands. That doesn't mean that he lords over you. I need to point that out. Some fellas take that and run with it. Submission does not mean that the husband lords over his wife. You all are a team. She is a helpmate, not a helper. Now, we're going to take a brief break, and I'm going to leave you with this question. And it's a question that one of our listeners came up with, and I thought it was important to share. So what would you consider the single most important thing to do for your spouse once you're married that you didn't do before the ceremony? All right, we're going to take this short commercial break, and I'll be right back with you momentarily. Welcome back. This is the Marriage Matters podcast, hosted by myself, Minister Adrian Walker. Again, thanks for listening in. We are covering foundation, what to do before and after the I do's, because foundation is important. All right, and before I left you all with a question. What would you consider the single most important thing to do for your spouse once you're married that you didn't do before the ceremony? I'd like to give a shout out to Paul at Primetime Barbershop, who came up with this out in San Diego. Now, I would have to say this. It should start regardless before the I do. Something that we most likely had done or do before we get to the point of walking down that aisle. Are you ready? It's simple, but people tend to forget it or lose it. Date your wife. Flirt with your husband. The single most thing that should continue on in a marriage. Again, this is something that usually is done before you walk down that aisle. If not, hey, more power to you. But dating your wife and flirting with your husband, continue to do this even to your last breath. Show them that love. Show them that respect. It's very much needed. It keeps the flames going, that spark igniting. Now, alongside with that, I do have a few tips for our listeners that could help along the run with some of these things surrounding that question that he sent out, and even those who are in the process of getting there. The first one is support. Now, when you put that ring on her finger, you immediately became a team. Your goals, dreams, and wishes all of the sudden become both of your goals, dreams, and wishes. So support her and give her strength. Let her know you're proud of her and believe in her. This also means to help her achieve her goals. Be there for her when she has a hard day. Be that shoulder to cry on and those wings to make her fly. Next thing is compliments. Now, who doesn't like a little compliment? Even if you think she already knows that she's pretty, beautiful, tell her anyway. Even if you think she already knows that she looks amazing in her outfit, tell her anyway. Even if she doesn't have time to get ready and looks like a hot mess, yes, I will not ever tell my wife that. When you get home from work, tell her she's beautiful. You look great. You look amazing. Tell her she still looks amazing to you. Women love. No, not just love. They need to hear things like this. We are always comparing our bodies, hairs, nails, and clothes with other women around us. I'm not a woman. It is always nice to hear. Women always say this is always nice to hear from the man of their dreams how good they look. As we are their husband, we have the opportunity to make her confident and boost that confidence 100%. The next thing is recognition. Every woman likes to hear that you recognize everything she has done. Say thank you. When she cleans the house or puts your clothes away, thank you. Tell her what a great job she did at work or what a fun mom she is for your children. Let her know that you notice all of the little and big things that she does. I can tell you from firsthand experience the appreciation that one gives. And this goes both ways. Appreciation means a lot, even if it's little things. Because you don't want anyone to feel, you cannot assume that they know that you are thankful. Sometimes that little, sudden, random, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that. You're showing appreciation. It's an action word. Show that you're appreciative. Again, this is the Marriage Matters podcast. Thanks for listening. This is Adrian Walker. We are discussing the foundation, building a foundation, what to do before and after the I do's. Now, the next tip is being a listener. And I know I'm a man. It's kind of hard we just don't listen. Plain and simple. We have selective hearing. And I'm sure almost every woman around listening can attest to that. But bad days will come, so let me tell you a little secret about ladies. Sometimes they just want to talk. They just want to tell you all about their day.